So we had our well drilled yesterday.
If you're new here, I'm Megan and this is Beau and our daughter Beckett.
And like we love you.
For 10 months now, we've been living on our land in northeastern Washington while building a shop house. We've had our struggles and we didn't pass inspection. And we've had our successes along the way. But each day we are closer to moving in. Don't forget to like and subscribe to join us on this wild ride. Oh man, I better change the battery. It's gonna die any second. But anyways, I didn't film yesterday. Beau got all of the little trim tracks, I think is what it's called, installed around the base of the dining room, living room area. Take two. All right, so Beau was able to get all of the trim tracks, something like that. It's called something like that. Installed on Monday. And so yesterday I went through and I put a first layer of mud around the whole thing. We mud straight up to the edges and then around the door. So that way the trim is flush. There's no added trim pieces. We're not doing any trim around the windows or anything like that. So I'm gonna get the next layer put on. I did have to pull some of the plastic back. We turned wrapping everything and having everything sealed up. We just kind of made this giant humidifier. And so everything was staying wet. So I did have to pull the plastic back on some of the windows to get it to dry out in here. And it's much better today than it was yesterday. So before we continue with painting and priming, I'll have to go back through and close those up. But I'm gonna get another layer on there. We got the edges for this steel beam up as well. So I need to add another layer there. Got that last piece in, another layer there. One day I'll be able to say, I'm all done with drywall. 100% done. It's just not that day. However, the accent wall, the fireplace wall is finished. So there's that. One win, right? Now that is ready for primer. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this done. I have a couple hours before Beckett gets home from school. And then we're having a play date tonight. So it'll probably be a very unproductive evening as well, but sometimes you need those. So let's get to it. Oh, I'm gonna mix up a box of mud because my mud's almost gone and figure I'm gonna use more than what I got in this bucket here, so we'll get this going. Maybe, just maybe, this will be my last box of mud. I just have these last few touch-up things to do, or I gotta finish this trim and this ceiling piece here, but wow, this knife is dull. Really hoping this is the last. We started drywalling the very end of January. It was like January 28th or something like that when our friends from Utah came and visited. Thanks again, guys. And it's now, I think today's April 13th. So that's how long it's taken Beau and I to do this by ourselves. So, and it wouldn't be so bad if we didn't have our timeline, our bank timeline, breathing down our back. Pros and cons to that, right? Major con is we're just in such a hurry to get everything done that sometimes we forget to enjoy this process. And it's stressful because it is on a timeline and we still have a lot to do. But on the flip side, one fantastic thing about it is we built our whole entire house in a year and we'll be in it very soon, which is amazing to think that we did that, or will do that, or hopefully we'll do that. But at the same time, we had to do it that fast, which is good because, you know, we'll get to be in our house and enjoy it sooner instead of always just putting it off and doing it a little bit here and there and taking our time. But so pros and cons. I'm okay with it all around. I'm definitely ready to be out of the RV and into our house, especially with it now looking like a house. This is just primer on the walls and it is beautiful. So now it's making me even more antsy to be out of the camper. By the way, we stole this little trick from, I think it was Drywall Nation's YouTube channel. Cut those edges off, pull this back, and then you just kind of give it a little bounce like that, and then it should drop right in. And you don't, except for that blob, you don't waste any mud. What was I saying? I don't know. Oh, I was trying to find Beckett's Easter basket yesterday. And so I was in our Conex, which was our storage. And I opened it. And I had to just sit there for a second and stare at my beautiful bed that's in there. That I want so bad. And can't have just yet, but so close. Precise measuring tool. We also got this one with this, I don't know, paddle or whatever it's called. Because this version was recommended for mixing mud on that Drywall Nation YouTube channel. Oh, you really want to hang on to it when you start because it'll break your wrist. I am making a mess today. This morning I went and did some fun shopping. You know, nothing like waiting till the last minute. This weekend's Easter and I didn't have any of Beckett's stuff ready, so I had to go do that this morning, along with some other errands. We're going to my grandparents this weekend for Easter, so that should be fun. We used to go all the time when I was little, and I absolutely loved it. So I'm glad I get to share that same experience with my daughter. I'm gonna end up with every single night dirty today, because the 4-incher is great for I think it's 6 inches actually. It's great for scooping it, but I need the next size up for to do the floor and the ceiling. So I'm not done, but there's a bunch of cleaning today. Hopefully that was the last bucket that I'll have to mix. Should be, there's plenty there to get us through. Let's see. Next size up. Really quick. Can you guys not believe how bright it is in here? You're dirty, sorry. I still can't get over it. Anyways, I was able to get another coat done around the whole thing, all the trim, around the door. I fixed a little bit of the corner pieces on the fireplace, but honestly, I think that's gonna be what it is, because I've already done like 4 coats, and I think at some point, it doesn't do anything. Got another coat on the ceiling, so it's all drying. I've been getting some editing done, and yeah, that's about it. Beau gets home tomorrow from his work trip. We'll probably get as much done as we can tomorrow, but this coming weekend is Easter. Okay, that's twice now you've died on me today. Anyways, this weekend's Easter, so we are headed to my grandparents' house on Friday. Take a quick break from working over the weekend, enjoy the holiday, eat some good food. One of my sisters and her family is coming, they're coming to meet us over there, so it should be a good time. I'm really looking forward to it. Easter was always a big thing when I was little, and to spend it with my papa, and I'm really excited to get to pass that on to my daughter. So if we don't see you again before then, thanks for being here. Don't forget to click that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. You can even click the bell for the notifications. And thanks for being here. We'll see you later. Seems like we're getting deliveries all the time now. Doors, trim, sinks, fireplace. Today, tile. Good morning. We're back from my grandparents' house. We spent Easter weekend with them. And it's gonna be a big week around here, hopefully. The plan for this week is to finish priming, which there's minimal of that to do. I spent most of yesterday when we got home from my grandparents touching up any holes in the, not like holes, but like when you put the mud on, sometimes when it dries, there's like little bubble holes in it. So filling in any of that. We're going with flat walls, so getting rid of all of that stuff is really important because the texture is not gonna cover it. So I spent most of the day doing that. We got a few other little things taken care of that we needed to. Finley! All right, let's try that again. Finley just rolled on the floor and it's like covered in drywall dust. Now went from a black dog to a white dog. Anyways, what was I saying? Touched up some walls. Oh, Beau started staining our treads. My grandpa, when he was here last weekend, took the treads home with him. They had dried out enough, so he cut them down, beveled the edges. They look beautiful. So Beau started staining them last night. We're just going with clear, so we keep that nice wood, grainy look. We don't want them dark either. We don't want anything really dark. Again, we're going for that modern look, so fresh, bright. Right now it's pretty industrial looking with all the steel, so hopefully the wood will help with that. But so I'm going to sand everything that I mudded yesterday, and then I'm gonna start cleaning. I'm gonna vacuum, which I know sounds weird, but Beau is gonna spray the paint on with a sprayer, and when he did the primer, it like blew the gross stuff all over the floor, like a couple inches of the walls, and we don't want that in our paint. So I'm gonna use the new Fez and get this place a little bit cleaner than it is and hope that none of that goes into the paint when we paint. So the goal, like I was saying, this week is to finish painting. You heard correctly. The walls, at least. We still have to do the doors and the trim, but the walls. The goal is to get all the walls done. That way this weekend we can install cabinets. Yep, another big step. Super excited about that. So yeah, I guess might as well get started. Peel it off already?
You can get this one over here. Here. So this is called a tearaway bead. And when you have two different surfaces like drywall and steel, you can use this to create a perfect seam of the drywall and the drywall mud. This is going to be a little delicate here on this corner. Just start peeling it. Leaves a perfect.
I can't believe how easy that comes off.
I'll grab it. You can keep going with it.
Oh, a little heavy on the drywall there.
Just hit it with a sander. Want me to grab it? Okay. But then it just creates this perfect corner that we'll hit with a light sanding.
And it'll paint.
Yep.
So you'll never be, right now you can tell the mud is like cream color and that's white. So. Voila. Same thing that, stink bug! Same thing we've done here, but down here you don't have to tear it away. We'll tear it away because the door's not gonna have trim either, so we'll tear it away right here as well. I'm gonna try to cover the steel beam as much as possible, that way it doesn't take on any paint or primer. Beau can tend to get a little heavy-handed when using the air sprayer, so trying to prevent anything from getting ruined.
Look how great it looks.
We're getting ready to paint. Not primer, but paint.
Maybe.
If the nozzle will unclog.
This isn't the tip I wanted. A little hole.
Oh boy. While he paints, I'm gonna keep cleaning and sanding. So, using the fizz, I'm sweeping. We don't have a vacuum attachment for the hose, like a head. So I'm sweeping and then I'm going around and doing all the corners. When Beau sprayed primer, I guess I can take this off. When Beau sprayed primer, like the dust and stuff went up the walls and like all the construction stuff, so I had to clean all off the walls before we could do this part. So I'm just trying to prevent that. Getting too close to him with the cameras because I don't want spray all over the cameras, so sorry about that. But you'll just have to make do with my eyeballs.